we've got our turkey going. This is going to be number 2 in our series. If you haven't watched the turkey video, I'm going to link that above so you can head on over and see how the Moss Squad makes our turkey. This is going to be our favorite side dish for my family. It is corned-beef casserole. You may hear it called other things, but that's what we call it. It's super easy, but it does take a little while to cook, especially when you have your turkey in the oven. You always need to account for that because your side dishes are going to take a little longer when they're sharing the room in the oven. So go ahead and get everything prepped and ready to go. And this is going to be easy. You're just putting it together and then baking it until it's done, which typically takes about an hour. The ingredients for this are going to be whole kernel corn, cream corn, 2 cans of each, sour cream, a stick of butter, and Jiffy cornbread mix. Now this is a double recipe, so if you want to do a single, just cut everything in half. But a double is really good for a Thanksgiving sized dinner. Alright, so you want to take your stick of butter and melt that down just for about 30 seconds. That's all it takes. You're going to pour that into your baking dish, whatever dish you choose. Then you're going to strain the corn. The whole kernel corn, you do not want the water in there, or the juice. Pour those cans right into your buttered dish. The key to this recipe is you have to make sure everything is mixed well. Then you take your cream corn, pour it right on top. I want you to comment down below on what your family calls this recipe, because I know people have different names for it. Or maybe you add something different to it. Let me know. Then I take my cornbread mix, pour that on top, and take my second box and pour it. Now this is where I start mixing, because I want to make sure I get it good and mixed together before I add my sour cream. You don't want clumps of cornbread. You want to get rid of the cornbread. Is this drawer distracting anyone? It is me. Let's go ahead and close that. Professional. You don't want to see any dry cornbread mix. Does that make sense? Get it all incorporated. I'm not an incorporated word kind of girl, so I'm sorry for saying that word. All right, add sour cream. You can go ahead and add both. Now, obviously, if you can get 32 ounces, then there you go. This will be a favorite, I promise. So you want to make enough to go around. Don't be chintzy on the corn bake. You know, at Thanksgiving, everybody usually gets one of everything at first, and then they come back for seconds, and they only get the things they really liked. This is one of those things. So don't make it feel like they're, they can't get enough. Give them enough. Now, when you go to bake this, like I said, you're going to bake it on 350 degrees. Typically, it takes about 45 minutes, but when we're having to share the oven, it will take longer. So you need to account for that and make sure you get your timing right. I always like to make my Thanksgiving dinners like later in the day, around 4 or 5. That way I don't feel pressured to get up and just start cooking right away. I have a little time to breathe. I know some people will cook their turkey before their casseroles. You can do that as well if you don't want to share the oven. But I like mine to come out at the same time. Alright, I think we've got everything mixed together. And then you're just going to throw this in the oven and bake it. Now, what you're looking for is going to look like it's going to look like cornbread. That's what you're looking for. You don't want it to be wiggly or jiggly. No wiggles and no jiggles, ladies, okay? And men. No wiggles and jiggles. You want it to be firm. Don't dry it out, though. It's like you have to have that perfect consistency. You just want it to be the perfect cornbread. Do you know what I'm saying? Just melts in your mouth. That, like you want it to not be wiggly or jiggly, but just on the verge of being wiggly and jiggly. You know what I'm saying? To make sure it's not dried out. Okay, that is it. That is dish number 2. Stay tuned. We have dish number 3 coming up in our Thanksgiving series. If you haven't liked and shared and subscribed, why not? Go ahead, go do that. Go check out the turkey video and come back and make video number 2. Now we're gonna do video number 3. All right.
Like a moist,
Huh?
like a moist cornbread, right?
Yeah, but nobody says moist in cooking. It's a gross word.